are pushing off from St. Thomas, and if you look carefully, you can see the distance between the ship and the port increasing. There's a Freedom of the Seas close by, but yeah, there's a party going on at Senior Frogs on the wharf. Those are the hills of St. Thomas, and over there we've got the Disney Fantasy, and yeah, we're pushing off slowly, and, heading out to sea for one more day, and then in Nassau on Friday, and back home on Saturday. So if you look, you'll notice that the Freedom of the Seas is getting closer, which means we're going by, pulling out from port. And I'm just going to keep this tape running for a little while so you can get an idea of what it's like departing St. Thomas. So here's a freaking idiot over there with his leg over the damn thing, and him go ahead and fall off like a crazy fool. Look at this fool. An idiot. Again, we're pushing away from the Disney. Notice the angler's change. And here comes Freedom of the Seas. I'm going to keep this tape running for a little while. Been a pretty cool experience, actually. Yeah, they got Beyonce playing on the Freedom of the Seas, and I can hear it from here. There goes Senior Frogs receding in the distance, as well as St. Thomas. Yep, it's one big party in a tourist trap. Okay, so now you should be able to clearly see that we're moving. Leaving St. Thomas and going by Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas. Can hardly see the Disney. It's receding, and look carefully, you can see the weight being churned up by the ship as we head out to sea. Still pretty cool. Yeah. And just going back to Senior Frogs, and that party is receding in the distance. If you listen carefully, you may be able to hear the ship's horn as we depart port. And there's somebody over there taping too in the Royal Caribbean. I guess I'm not the only one with that idea. And there's another couple, and there are a bunch of other people videotaping us, or videotaping me as I'm videotaping them. And not sure. Okay. I wonder how close that guy was going to be to the ship, that boat, but he's doing what he's doing, so rock on, Brahman. Okay, so now you get a really good perspective on, again, departing St. Thomas. And which was very cool. I enjoyed this. And going over to St. John's was definitely a highlight. So, not really sure what I'm looking at in terms of that little island or whatever, but something. Again, perspective on Freedom of the Seas, give you a good idea of how actually pretty quickly we're moving. Disney is pretty much gone. If you look carefully, you can see the cabin's quarters all the way up top. Yeah, they've got a function, a little band playing on the deck, which is right upstairs on 15. I'm on 14, so I've got a pretty decent location midship. The gym and pool, a spa, and the major cafe buffet thing is one flight up. So I typically just walk upstairs for the gym, for food, and so on. So pretty good location. So here's another perspective. There goes the Freedom of the Seas. There's some kind of a Marriott property in the distance, and beautiful background on the ocean. So here we go again. The ship is turning, getting the heck out of Dodge, and I'm totally cool with that. Just going back to next to the Marriott property and seeing a little bit more of some condo type things in the distance, all that colorful, those colorful buildings, palm trees and stuff. Again, not sure what Marriott property that is, but it's one of them. So if you look again, you can see, you may get the perspective where the back of the ship is actually turning, and the front is heading out to the ocean. And let's see, there are some mountains and stuff in the distance. Again, I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but this is leaving the port, leaving St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. It was really interesting to see a USPS mail truck tearing down the mountainside delivering mail. I thought that was pretty interesting. On the way to the ferry that we took from St. Thomas to St. John's to spend a couple of hours at what's called the Trunk Beach, which is presumably one of the top beaches in the world, kind of secluded, kind of small. Yep, you can see how the engine is churning up all that water as the ship turns and heads out to sea. Same thing towards the front of the ship. And again, some the port in the background. I think I took a picture of this morning, and I'm on the balcony taking these pictures now. So pretty picturesque little port, and that's a water plane. I don't know if you can make that out, but there's some kind of a seaplane that's churning up some waves, and I didn't notice where the hell he came from, but I think he's trying to take off, and I don't think I've ever taped anything like this before, so little added bonus. Here he comes. Okay, barely made it up, and now he's off doing his thing. Yeah, that's a little bonus picture. Oh yeah. that's that. So back to the port itself. As the ship turns, if you look, you can see traffic in the distance. And still maneuvering to make our way out of the port of St. Thomas. Definitely a YouTube upload, so I can clear some space from the scammer eventually. Very mountainous, reminds me of Jamaica to a certain extent, some parts of Jamaica. And, lush inland, not as much arid and desert like St. Martin, which has mountains, but the whole vibe is completely different. Definitely more arid kind of an environment. So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what we're doing now, and I think we've kind of maneuvered out of the port, and we are actually now pushing forward, which is in this direction. So, and there are people all observing look down, you can see people observing the departure. So, yeah, pretty cool. People tripping. Maybe some kind of escort boat, I'm not sure. We had that in Miami. Actually, Miami Marine Police actually escorted the ship out to the ocean. Bunch of boats, it's kind of chilling. In the distance, you may be able to see the top of what appears to be another cruise ship, because there's a port on the other side. Here comes another little vessel, some kind of, more than likely some kind of tourist thing, I don't know. And again, remember, this is U.S. territory, so you have a lot of familiar sites and infrastructure around to remind you that you're actually in the States. Okay, so I think that I'm going to shut this down after giving you another view forward, heading for the open ocean, sailboats, other boats, but I may just go a little bit longer since this is so cool. Yeah, and this thing isn't actually moving. Hopefully you can get a perspective of how quickly this thing is moving. One thing I learned is that the Rockefellers apparently had bought a bunch of land in this area and in the and St. John's, and made it into a preserve. So, okay. Alright, I'm going to shut this down for now.